Have you ever stopped to think about a holiday that perfectly combines math and, well, dessert? Today, we're sinking our teeth into Pi Day, and it brings up a pretty delicious question. Seriously, why do we dedicate one day a year to honoring an infinite, irrational number by eating pie? Sounds a little random, right? But the story behind it is this fantastic mix of clever wordplay, genuine scientific enthusiasm, and just, pure fun. Okay, here's how we're going to slice this up. First, we'll look at the simple pun that started it all. Then we'll go back to the very first celebration. After that, we'll see how people celebrate today, track its journey to becoming official, and finally, we'll meet some of its mathematical holiday rivals.
So, let's start with the core idea. The entire holiday, the whole thing, is built on this really simple, really clever link between a number and a date.
So what exactly is Pi Day? Well, at its heart, it's a yearly party for the mathematical constant pi. And, you guessed it, it happens every single year on March 14th.
But why March 14th? This is the best part. If you write the date out, month first, you get 314. And that, of course, perfectly mirrors the first three digits of pi, 3.14. It's just so simple and elegant, you kind of have to love it. And here it is, the central joke of the entire holiday. The words pi and pi sound exactly alike. They're homophones. It's the perfect pun, right? The number pi is all about circles, and pi is just so happen to be circular. I mean, with a setup like that, a holiday was pretty much bound to happen. But every tradition has to start somewhere. So let's rewind and see how this whole thing grew from a small, local get-together into the phenomenon it is today. Yep, it all started with one guy, a physicist named Larry Shaw. Back in 1988, he organized the very first Pi Day celebration where he worked, at the legendary San Francisco Exploratorium, a super hands-on science museum. And that first celebration? It was wonderfully simple. Picture this. Larry Shaw, his co-workers, and the public all marched around one of the museum's big, circular rooms. A perfect tribute, right? And what did they do after their parade? Naturally, they ate fruit pies. It was the perfect end to the very first Pi Day. Okay, so from those humble beginnings, this holiday has totally exploded. So how has it evolved? Let's take a look at all the different ways people celebrate it now. Eating pie is still, of course, the most popular tradition, but things have definitely expanded. You've got people doing fun pie-throwing events, others holding really deep discussions about the significance of pi. A lot of schools hold contests to see who can recite the most digits, and tons of restaurants, especially pizza places, offer deals for just $3.14. Some traditions are just on another level. For example, MIT, the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, actually releases its undergraduate admission decisions on Pi Day. And for an extra layer of nerdy fun, they sometimes release them at 6:28 p.m., which they call Tau time. That's a little inside joke about pi's rival number, which we'll get to in a minute. And then you've got Princeton, New Jersey, where the celebration gets even bigger. It turns out March 14th is also Albert Einstein's birthday, and he lived in Princeton for a long time. So the town just combines the two. They have pie-eating contests right alongside an annual Einstein look-alike contest. How cool is that? And every now and then, the calendar gives us something extra special. Back in 2015, we had what everyone called Super Pi Day. Why? Because the date, 3/14/15, matched the first 5 digits of pi. And for the real math fans, the ultimate moment was at 9:26 and 53 seconds, when the date and time together lined up with the first 10 digits of pi. So a holiday this popular couldn't stay unofficial forever, right? Let's look at the journey Pi Day took to get some formal mainstream recognition. You can really see the growth here. It starts small with Larry Shaw in '88. Then, fast forward to 2009, and the U.S. House of Representatives actually passes a resolution making it National Pi Day. And just a decade after that, in 2019, it went global when UNESCO declared it the International Day of Mathematics. But believe it or not, March 14th isn't the only day with a claim to fame here. There's actually a friendly little debate among math fans about the best day to celebrate these constants. This table breaks it down perfectly. You have our Pi Day on 3/14, then there's Pi Approximation Day on July 22nd. Why that day? Because if you write it as 22/7, that fraction is a really common and pretty accurate approximation of pi. And then you have Tau Day on June 28th. Celebrating the number tau, which is just 2 times pi, or about 6.28. Now, the argument for tau is that it's a more, fundamental constant in a lot of formulas because it relates a circle's circumference to its radius instead of its diameter.
But how do Tao supporters celebrate? Well, with a great sense of humor, they jokingly say you should eat twice the pie. So there you have it. From a simple pond at a science museum to an International Day of Mathematics, Pi Day has had quite a ride. It's a great reminder that math can be fun, it can be accessible, and yeah, it can even be delicious. Which leaves us with a final thought. Pi is an infinite number. It goes on forever. So, as we keep discovering more of it, what creative new ways will we find to celebrate it?